The ABCs of horror.
It's easy to deceive. It's easy to tease, but it's hard to get release. What does Billy Idol and plastic surgery have in common? Maybe the Necronomicon can fill us in. (1960s) Eyes Without a Face. Tonight we take a look at a movie that almost made my list last year, and upon second viewing, it's still fantastic and honestly would crack my top 31. We're looking at a 1960 French film, Eyes Without a Face. Eyes Without a Face starts off pretty fantastically, besides something that we'll talk about later. We see this woman driving a rather small car, and then she looks in a rear view mirror. We see a body in the back seat. It's subtle, but very effective. It sets up the whole movie for some genuine creepiness. The story is about a doctor and his daughter who has a horribly disfigured face. This doctor feels guilt over his daughter's disfigurement as he was the one driving the car that wrecked, causing her permanent face damage. He's working on groundbreaking yet highly experimental tissue transplants that he hopes will help give his daughter a face again. The only problem is finding someone willing to give up their own face. As you can imagine, the doctor doesn't have a lot of volunteers. So he has to kidnap these girls, he ties them up in his basement, and then he surgically removes their face, all trying to fix his daughter's face. Does that deserve Father of the Year award? Until the surgery works, the daughter has to wear a mask to hide her disfigurement, and whoa! This mask is perfectly creepy. It's emotionless, and it falls in that uncanny valley. It's perfect. Eyes Without a Face is a horror masterpiece and could honestly be viewed as one of the greatest horror movies ever, except that there are some glaring problems. And these problems could be so big that it could completely ruin the experience for some viewers. Let's start off with the music. So the assistant to the doctor stalks the young girls to gain their trust before leading them to the doctor. The music during these scenes is laughably bad. I feel like I'm listening to circus music or carnival music. It's not badly composed by any means, it just doesn't fit the scene. It doesn't add tension, it doesn't add horror, but instead just takes me out of the experience. It's that jarring. The movie has a ton of nothingness as well. This film could have easily been 20 minutes shorter and still have gotten all the story elements in without feeling rushed. This isn't a huge complaint, as the film is beautifully shot. It's a nice, grim, yet beautiful thing to look at. It just takes away from the horror a bit. It just feels slow, and it never really builds to much. And when the film does build, you really don't feel the tension due to the lack of music, or when the music does plays, it's just comical. Now let's talk about the positives. And trust me, there are a lot of positives. First off, it's wonderfully acted and it's beautifully shot. I also love the fact that every single character is a tragic character built in reality. You may hate the actions of the doctor, but at the end of the day, he's a human too, and you understand his reasoning. The doctor may be a villain, but he's doing it for his daughter and for his own pride. He wants to validate his own research that could help save millions. And he also wants to make up for all of the mistakes that he made. After all, he caused his daughter's disfigurement. It's heart-wrenching in a way, especially when you see one of the transplants failing. The daughter is another beautifully tragic character. She understands that all of this is wrong, but she wants a face again. She wants a life again. It wasn't her choice to be in this situation. She wants to be back in society. She's locked up inside her room, having to wear this mask, and all the mirrors in her room are taken away. She's dead to the world and to the ones that she loves. You feel for this character and can see her moral turmoil even through that emotionless mask. There is also a fantastic face removal scene. There's a ton of detail for 1960, and it still looks great even by today's standards. It goes on for over 4 minutes, and we see every painstaking second. It's tense, horrifying, but fascinating. Many say it's the highlight of the film, and it's hard to argue with them. Also, a quick note, the doctor's assistant in this film is also in Suspiria. Come to think of it, both of these films have someone being violently ripped apart by dogs. I'm sure she had a fantastic career, but if I see her in anything else, I expect to see some dogs ripping into people's faces. All in all, I can't recommend this movie enough, especially if you don't mind subtitles. Wait a second. What happened to my face? No!